Ladies and gentlemen, as I was preparing today's stream, I turned on the stream. I got the podcast rolling. I was like, let's get started. In the chat, someone says, breaking news. Something crazy just happened with Sony. I'm like, well, I don't know if I believe you. Let me check. Oh, it was real. No, people aren't messing with me. It was true. I'm like, all right, let's cover the story. All right, guys, you ready for this? Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, I dressed up like Dan Hibiki and I played Street Fighter. No, this is what happened. Sony closed 2 more studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk. Firewalk Studios were the makers of Concord, and Concord is permanently gone. Permanently gone forever. All right? Here is the internal email from Herman Holst, who the head of Sony Gaming right now, I believe. You ready? Dear team, today I want to share some important updates from Sony Interactive Entertainment's Studio Business Group. We consistently evaluate our games portfolio and status of our projects to ensure that we are meeting near and long-term business priorities. As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE's studio business, we have had to make a difficult decision relating to 2 of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios. Expanding beyond PlayStation devices and crafting engaging online experiences alongside our single-player games are key focal areas for us as we evolve our revenue streams. We need to be strategic. Thorough? No. We need to be strategic, though, in bringing our games to new platforms and recognize when our games fall short of meeting player expectations. While mobile remains a priority growth area for the studio business, we are in the very early stage of our mobile efforts. To achieve success in this area, we need to concentrate on titles that are in line with PlayStation Studios' pedigree and have the potential to reach more players globally. With this refocused approach, Neon Koi will close, and its mobile action game will not be moving forward. I want to express my gratitude to everyone at Neon Koi for their hard work and endless passion to innovate. So I just want you to think about this. Herman Holst, who's in charge of Sony Gaming, says here, what we want to do is we want to be in the mobile games market, and we realize we haven't really entered it yet. This is our first efforts to do so. So in order for us to be successful, we're closing the studio that's making one of the mobile games. It's not even done yet, but we're just going to close them. What? How are you breaking into the mobile games market by closing the studio that's making the mobile games? we don't even know what that, what? Like, what game were they even making? Apparently they're making an action game, but we don't even know what it is. The game is not even announced yet, and they canceled it, and they closed the studio. Imagine that. Imagine if you interview with a company, you're a game developer, and you get hired, and you're like, this is great. We're breaking into new ground. We're going to start making amazing mobile games. In fact, we're going to purchase this Neon Koi company. You're now working under the Sony umbrella. Congrats. This is going to be great. First attempt at doing mobile games. This is going to be great. And then they close the studio before you even made your game. Like, huh? You didn't give them a chance. This isn't a situation like with the studio that made The Evil Within. I'm trying to remember the name of the studio right now. It's eluding me, right? So they made a bunch of horror games. The Evil Within 1 sells massively for Microsoft, but then the second game flops, doesn't sell as well. So then they refocus their efforts. Tango Gameworks, thank you. They refocus their efforts. They make another game that's great. The game sells, and then they still get fired, right? It's not even that situation where they had a track record of success, then failure, then success. They've had no track record because they haven't been giving a chance. They didn't even give them a chance to finish the fucking game. And they're laying these people off. It's like, what? It's pretty messed up. Okay? But of course, that's not really what people are talking about. They're talking about the next part of this. But hold on a second, because I received some contributions. First of all, I received a $5 tip from One Sick Puppy. I'm excited for more Black Ops 6. Can't wait for you to take down Saddam and be a bad, bad man. What? What? Is Saddam in the campaign? Saddam Hussein? I don't know. I haven't played the campaign, obviously, so I don't know. We're starting the campaign tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's late stream, we will begin and see what it's all about. All right, so thank you for that. By the way, shall we test and see if the tip animations are working today? Because yesterday they were not, but I believe that I have fixed that problem, and they should be working today, okay? So, I fixed it. Cool. All right, excellent. Yeah, a stupid weird thing that happened yesterday was bizarre. That OBS did some kind of a forced update. Okay, so thank you, One Sick Puppy, for our first tip of the day. Then I received 5 gifted memberships on YouTube from the Red King. Thank you so much, Red King. So each membership on YouTube, I roughly make about $3. So with the 5 gifted, we'll count that for about 15. And that means that we'll be up to $77 in contributions. We are more than halfway to hitting our goal. Now, unfortunately, the leaderboard's too long, so I'm going to abbreviate some stuff here. Gathering Hall Live will just become 3 abbreviated letters now. There we go. So now it will fit. Cool. Halfway there, my friends. Let's keep it rolling. Let's hit a new record this morning, shall we? Thank you so much, guys. All right. So continuing on with the story, now we're going to head into the real meat and potatoes of the story. What everyone is talking about. You ready? Okay. So, regarding Firewalk, as announced in early September in an important update on Concord, and there was the link to the post, certain aspects of Concord were exceptional. Which ones? Hold on. Before we continue, what aspects of Concord were exceptional? The game was a knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy when it comes to the design of the story and the characters, correct? There was nothing original there whatsoever. It was literally a Guardians knockoff. Everyone knows that. The gameplay was literally a team-based hero shooter a la Overwatch. There was literally nothing original whatsoever in the gameplay elements. The graphics were very Overwatch-esque. There was nothing original in that. Okay? So, I mean, we keep going, but please tell me what exactly was exceptional about Concord, because games that have exceptional aspects don't fail. Even if they don't resonate with a wide audience, they still get like a cult following that would love it. Concord did not have that. Concord launched and had one of the lowest player bases in gaming history on Steam. So tell me where it was exceptional. So basically, he's sugarcoating the failure for no reason. It's already deemed a failure. Everyone knows it. Why he's sugarcoating the failure, I have no clue. It doesn't serve any purpose to do so. But maybe he's trying to make himself look better because it was under his watch that this happened. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to it. So certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players. And as a result, we took the game offline. We have spent considerable time these past few months exploring all of our options. What past few months? It was September and October. That's less than 2 months because October's not done yet. What last few months? Everything he does is PR speak. You see that? So now he's acting like they really took a lot of time to consider this. No, they didn't. They took basically about 1 month to figure this out. Okay? Now let's continue. After much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. No, you don't. No, you don't. Seriously, if you thought that they had high levels of craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication, you wouldn't have closed the studio. You would have said, all right, this game didn't work, but we liked what you made, so let's give you an opportunity to make a second game. Instead, you're shit-canning them. So you don't think that they had craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. Everything this guy says is a lie. This entire email is fucked up because everything here is PR speak and lying. None of it is true. Okay, continuing on. The PvP first-person shooter genre is a competitive space that's continuously evolving, and unfortunately, we did not hit our targets with this title. Well, your title didn't do anything unique. All your game did was copy what everyone else had did and taped it together with duct tape, and you pretended like it was a new game. It's not a new game. It's the same game as other people have already made. It's uninspired. You could tell that the brainstorming for this game was done by a bunch of executives in a boardroom. No research was done with the market to see what the market wanted, right? I'll give you an example. What other game is a hero shooter that recently was tested and tested very well, and people are anticipating to be a big hit? Marvel Rivals. Why? Because it's fucking Marvel. It's got an IP attached to it that people want and like, but it's also got the aspects of gameplay that people like from hero shooters, okay? Your game didn't have an IP, didn't have any originality. You stole all your ideas and did a shitty knockoff game. So that's why no one wants it. If your game was Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe someone would have liked it. But you didn't even get the IP. You just copied others. And then people said, well, we see what you're doing here. This is shit. We're not going to play a knockoff game that's uninspired. This is a bunch of old dudes in suits brainstorming in a boardroom. Is this what the kiddies like? Yeah, what about that Overwatch League? Dude, Overwatch League is played out too. No one plays Overwatch. It just doesn't make any sense. The game makes no sense. So it's funny because he says the first-person shooter, the PvP first-person shooter genre is a competitive space that's continuously evolving. No, you want to know what it is? It's outdated and it's old now. You missed the boat. If you wanted to be in on the PvP first-person competitive shooter, you had to be 5 years ago at the time of Apex Legends coming out and games like that. That's when you had to hit the mark. You're too late. Your game came out so late in the game. There was no way it was going to be successful. You failed. Again, this reminds me of how everyone was trying to do a Battle Royale game way too late after the success of Fortnite. It doesn't work that way. You have to strike when the iron is hot. You have to be there at the right place and right time. You took so long to make your fucking knockoff game, no one cares about the genre anymore except the established titles. Or in the case of Marvel Rivals, if there's a big IP attached, then people care. People aren't just going to care about some generic shit you made, right? Continuing on. We will take the lessons learned from Concord and continue to advance our live service capabilities to deliver future growth in this area. So what lessons did you learn? Right? Like, why don't you cite them? Like right now, in this email, say, here's what we've learned. We're not going to kowtow to the crowd of this mob of online people who claim they want something, but then they don't buy it. Instead, we're going to make games that are good. We're going to make games that are fun to play, have unique gameplay loops that are addictive, that have great graphics, that have interesting writing, instead of, we're just going to make crap because a mob online said they like it, and now no one bought it. Why not just admit what you did wrong, and then people would believe you? Because what's happened in this email, there's no admittance of anything wrong. It's just, oh, just bad luck. Oh, well, good luck on your future endeavors. No, you fucked up. You made ginormous miscalculations on what the gamers wanted. You made a piece of shit that no one asked for besides an online mob of people that don't spend money, and now you're fucked. But now who's going to pay? Is Herman Holst quitting? Saying, oh, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I greenlit this, but, you know, I'm now going to give up all my compensation this year, my $5 zillion that I make being the head of Sony Gaming. I'm not, you know, I'm going to sell off my yacht. No, instead, he'll stay in his position of power. He'll be getting a bonus this year while all these people are losing their jobs. Isn't it great how the industry works? Let's continue because we're not done. The text got a lot bigger for this part. I know none of this is easy news to hear, particularly with colleagues and friends departing SIE. Both decisions were given serious thought, and ultimately we feel they are the right ones to strengthen the organization. No, when you're cutting people out, you're weakening your organization. What don't you understand about that? When you're laying people off, you're weakening your company. Your bad decisions led them to make games that no one was going to buy, but you're staying and they're going. You are the problem, but you're not correcting the problem. You're cutting the fat to pay for your mistake. They have to lose their jobs because you, Mr. Holst, are a bad leader. That's the problem with gaming right now. The people in charge are not held accountable for their mistakes. The people working at Firewalk didn't say one day, we're just going to use all our time and resources to make Concord. The management told them to do it. The management said, here's the projects. Let's choose a project to make. Let's dictate and do this and this and this. Like, why did they have to lose their jobs? The best case scenario here would have been Herman Holst comes out and he publicly apologizes and says, here's the deal. We made bad miscalculations in the management structure of the company. We screwed up. It's our fault because we thought that making a game that was going to basically give everything that the people want online, who are this woke group who demand, you know, representation, demand all these things that no one is looking for in gaming. We made a whole game for that. We fucked up. That's on us. Now what we're going to do is listen to gamers and what gamers want. We're going to make games for what you are asking for and stop trying to cater to this small group of loud, annoying people online, right? And then he said, so we're not laying anyone off. Instead, all of our resources are going to go that Firewalk is now going to make a good game based on what they made here. We can even reuse some new resources, but they're going to make something better, okay? But instead, oh no, we have to answer to the shareholders and be super profitable at all times. We have to make sure that the rich stay rich and the poor get fucked. And that's what they're doing. Let's just fire the whole fucking studio. So now all those pay goes away, and now we can move forward with our next piece of shit game that everyone will hate. So let's continue with this. Neon Koi and Firewalk were home to many talented individuals, and we will work to find placement for some of those impacted within our global community of studios where possible. Just don't fire them, asshole. Then you don't have to do that. I'm a big believer in the benefits of embracing creative experimentation and developing new IP. However, growing through sustainable financials, especially in a challenged economic environment, is critical. Okay, so step down. So step down. What you failed to do was make a good new IP. You're the one who greenlit Concord. So you step down because you greenlit it. You take your pay and you give it to the people who are demanding blood for this game failing. You don't fire the people who did what you told them to do. You suffer for your bad decision instead. I don't understand. I really don't. While today is a difficult day. Yeah, but who's it difficult for, Herman? Not for you. You're fine. You and your golden parachute, you're living in a life of fucking luxury. No consequences for your bad decisions. Only the people under you ever suffer, right? There is much to look forward to in the months ahead from the studio, business group, and our teams. There is? Like what? You just announced the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's releasing in a few weeks, right? Well, actually 2 weeks, not even. What games are going to be out for that, Herman? Herman, I hear crickets, Herman. What games are coming out that we need a PS5 Pro to play? Last of Us 2? What, a 5-year-old game? Horizon Forbidden West, 2-3-year-old game? Didn't even do that well? God of War Ragnarok, a game we all played 2 years ago? Like, what do I... Herman, I can't hear you. Speak up, Herman. What games am I going to be playing on my PS5 Pro, you buffoon? This is the guy who's in charge of Sony. This is what he's busy doing. Putting out bad games and laying off the studios who did what he told them to do, instead of actually making good games people want to play on a Sony console. And he'll be one of the people, literally he'll be one of the people who will come out and say, man, the industry's in a rut right now. The industry's really in a downturn. No, it's not, Herman. You are. You're a bad leader. You're bad at your job. And when people are bad at their job, they get punished for it. But not you. You're protected because you're rich, right? So because you're rich and you're at the top, you never have consequences for your bad decisions. Everyone else pays for your bad decisions. It's time for this to end. It's time to stop this structuring of companies where when people make bad decisions, they get rewarded. Because he's going to get a bonus this year for putting out a PS5 Pro with no games and for putting out terrible games and then firing the people who made them instead of punishing himself. I remain confident that we are building a resilient and capable organization driven by creating unforgettable entertainment experiences for our players. When? When are they coming out? What is being developed? What are you talking about? We played Astrobot. That was great. I loved Astrobot. What's the next? You have no information to share with us. Why? Because they were banking on Concord. They were going to say, what a year. Concord and Astrobot, back-to-back bangers, right? That's what they were really hinging on. And it didn't happen, and now they look like assholes. They got nothing for the rest of the year. There's not a single big Sony exclusive coming out for this year. There's nothing next year either. Can you tell me a big Sony exclusive coming out early next year? It's like they're all sitting there with their thumbs up their asses. So I'm sorry, Herman. I don't have any confidence in you right now as the leader of Sony Gaming Studio. I don't. I think that you're a jackass. Everything that we're seeing right now is that basically you have nothing. You have nothing in the pipeline. You're trying to sell us a console that no one wants. The only ones that's selling is the 30th anniversary edition because it's limited edition. So people think it's going to be a big collector's item. But outside of that, PS5 Pros will not be flying off the shelves, right? There's no reason to have one. So, Herman, you tell us when you got something for us, all right? But this is a shit show. You're a terrible leader. And until you actually show some kind of competence in your job, I would like to ask you to do something kindly for all of gaming on behalf of all gamers everywhere. I, Darkside Phil, would like to ask Herman Hultz, please fuck off. Go away.